What a day, what a day. I'm already being fed up with it already. I'm just now here getting to work, and already there's a customer I don't like. I deal with that from time to time. Some customers are so rude, you know? Sometimes it just makes me want to jump across the table and scratch their eyes out. But I restrain myself, as I usually do, because I have self-control, unlike some of my customers who completely yell in my face when something doesn't go their way. But, as usual, I deal with it. I'm not mad. I keep my happy smile on and just say, well, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. They snort, and of course they leave without another word to me. Well, without saying, I'll discuss this with your manager. Looks like they'll be discussing it with me real soon then. I'm the manager, of course. It's not like they know that though, since I don't disclose that information. I just chuckle to myself and think, what an idiot. But what was I trying to do? Oh, that's right. My mission at hand. Trying to save myself, Cole, Charles, and of course, Tabitha, from a psycho who's currently stalking me. Well, at least I think he's stalking me. I haven't seen him, at least in a while, but I know he's watching me. I feel the eyes every time. I know he's out there, and I'm pretty sure he knows that I know he's out there too. But he keeps his distance as to not be seen. Smart, but not smart enough. I know he's there, and I have plans for him. But I don't want to think about him right now. Charles just walked in, late as usual. I say, hi Charles, how's it going? He just says, not much, Cole, I'm just, well, you know how it is. Me and Tabitha had a fight last night, and I'm not really sure if I might see her again. I say, why? A little bit happy inside. He says, well, I kind of asked to go through her phone, mainly because I have suspicions of her cheating. Well, there goes my hope for a loyal woman in my life. A cheating woman is the worst kind of woman. A cheating woman? Man, that's bad, I say to him. He says, yeah, man, I know. I wish I'd known something. I just, well, you know how I am with girls, and she's pretty, and, you know. I say, yeah, go on. He says, well, I believed her, at least for a little while, until I looked through it again earlier tonight and found some very interesting messages. Already I can see where this is going. I stop him right there and I say, hey, listen, Charles, she just wasn't the one for you. That's okay, man. You'll get over it eventually. Hey, there's 7 billion girls on the planet, and, go try out one of those. He chuckles and says, thanks, Cole, but I think I'll be in the single life for a little while. I say, okay, suit yourself. We get back to work, and everything seems to run smoothly through the rest of the day, until it's time to go home. I leave out, and who do you know who I run into? Tabitha. She is beautiful as ever, but yet not. I remember what she did to Charles, and I say, hey, I don't want to be in your business or anything, but considering it's between you and Charles, but I have to ask, is it true, what you did? She can automatically tell what I'm saying, and she says, oh, of course not, he just mistaken it for someone. I don't know why he thinks I would cheat on him. Well, I think he's just, I don't know, you know how Charles is, I say. She says nothing in reply, but I just keep talking. So, how's your day? She says, it's been okay, so far. Hey, I was thinking, and I already know where this is going. Clearly, she did not run into me on accident, and just wanted to get a drink or something. Of course, like I said, she says it. Did you want to get something, to drink or, something to do? I say nothing, but I just stand there and kind of look at her in an awkward way. She gets the gist and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's weird. Going out with your best friend's ex-girlfriend who supposedly cheated on him. I understand that." I nod in disappointment but in agreement with her. I look down at my watch acting like there's some place that I have to be that's more important than right now and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Tabs, but I gotta go. I have to be somewhere. I'm kind of late for it." She says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won't stop you. See you around then." I say, "I'll see you around too," and take off running. I kind of needed to get away from that. I don't want to be involved with a girl who's, of course, a cheater. No one does. So my feelings for her completely vanish. Now, at least that she's out of the way and out of the picture, I can focus more on my sole mission to deal with this guy I'm trying to find. I bet the bottom dollar he was watching that conversation between me and Tabitha, considering I can still feel his eyes on me the entire time. This guy's really starting to take me off. I want to find him. I need to get rid of him permanently and make it painful and excruciating as possible. I know that sounds sadistic, but this guy is a scumbag, most likely committed multiple murders, no doubt about it, and is probably a lunatic. So, I say it's suited for him. I get home, and I lay down on my bed, thinking to myself, how am I going to get this done without anyone noticing? How am I even going to find this guy without him noticing? I just sit there and ponder to myself, how am I going to do this? Come on, Justin, you can think. It hits me. Maybe I can lead him somewhere. He's following me day in and day out, and no doubt knows where I live. So, maybe if I leave the house and go to somewhere more private, then maybe he might reveal himself. The best place to get rid of this guy in. An abandoned warehouse or probably somewhere else. It doesn't always have to be in an abandoned warehouse, but it can be somewhere more secluded. I go to sleep and just think of happy thoughts, but my dreams are not of happy thoughts, it's of me getting murdered by the guy. Not a happy dream. So, the next morning, I get up for work as usual, and of course, I feel the eyes. I know the guy's following me. This is not unusual. The guy sickens me, and I know I sicken him. We don't like each other that much. I can tell that just by looking at me, he wants to kill me. But I just make him think that he can. I need to get him somewhere alone so he can have the opportunity, or at least what he thinks is the opportunity. I do my day as usual, acting like I don't suspect a thing. I say usually to my customers, "Hi, how are you doing today? What could I find for you?" And, yada yada yada. But today was different. A new customer came in. Him. The guy that I'm searching for reveals himself unexpectedly. I'm caught off guard by this, as he is not caught off guard by this, obviously. "Hey, Cole," he says to me, with a sly smirk on his face. "Hey," I reply, trying to not look suspicious about anything, acting like I don't know him. But surprisingly, he acts the same way. He just says, "Nice name. I like your tag. Anyways, I was here for a book." What kind of book do you want, sir? We got all kinds here." "Well, not too much of the famous ones, but we do have some pretty good old ones," I say in reply. He says, "Well, I'm looking for something interesting, a thriller, something that really gets you on the edge of your seat," he says to me, with a very intense glare. I say, "Well, sir, come right this way." He follows me down one of the hallways to another book section. I am tense, heavily tense. I could kill this guy right now, but he could also kill me too. I don't know this guy's skills, or what he's capable of doing. Well, I know what he's capable of. I mean, he wants to kill me, aka he wants to kill Cole. Considering he knows me and Cole exist, he wants us both dead, and could possibly want my friends dead. But, I can handle this guy. I can get rid of him for good. I take him to the back, and he sees something interesting he likes. He says, "Hey, what's that book?" I say, "Oh, that's Frankenstein." He says, "Frankenstein? I've heard of this book but never read it." I say, "Yeah, that's a pretty good book. The book is about a monster who's not really the monster, per se." He says, "What do you mean?" And I say, "Oh, you just gotta read it. It's a really interesting book. You know, it's called Frankenstein, but it's not really the monster known as Frankenstein. I mean, the guy, the doctor or the scientist is called Frankenstein. And, the Frankenstein monster is called Frankenstein's monster. So that's just a little piece of fact that I thought you should know." Still keeping up the act. We don't want to alert anyone that we know something between each other, so that something is off. So I just act like my usual self, what I am with customers. He doesn't do anything, but just says, "Oh, well, nice tip." We give each other the weird stare, the stare that happens in one of those movies when something is obviously going on, when, they know each other in a weird way, and it's just this intense stare. I break it off and I say, "Well, would that be all, sir?" He says, "Sure. But first, I have to ask you something." "Justin." He says my real name. "What are you doing here in New York? Aren't you on the run?" The color drains from my face. What do you mean?" I talk in a regular voice, not my pagelic voice that I use when customers come in. He says, "I think you know what I mean. Why are you here? What are you doing here? You are on the run from the cops for murder, right?" I gotta say, it's nice to finally meet you in person. I mean, we've met, but I've never got to meet the true you. So what's your game here? Are you planning on taking me out to hide your little secret? To be frank, I don't really care about who you are. I just want Cole. You can keep his name, but I want the real guy dead. My boss will kill me if I don't get him." I look at him and say, "I don't know what Cole is. You're not getting him. Now leave." He chuckles to himself and says, "Oh, Justin, I don't think I'm going anywhere. I'm going to be here for a while, keeping tabs on you and your buddy Charles, your friend Tabitha. Man, be a shame if something would happen to them if only if you give up certain information that could help me help you, right? Think about it like that. Helping your friends, letting them live a little longer until they're maybe, 80 something? I mean, you would like to see that, wouldn't you? Or would you like to see them in caskets very, very early? Perhaps next week, of course." I get furious, but I hold it in. I don't let him see my weakness. I can't be weak in this moment. I can't let him get to my head. Okay, I'll tell you. Cole is somewhere in Alabama. Alabama? What would he be there for? To visit a cousin. A cousin? I didn't know this guy had a cousin. I said, "Yeah, he has a cousin. Now please, go away. I told you everything." He says, "I don't believe you, Justin. I may not know you that well, but I can tell the kind of guy you are. You are a master at this game. I see you've been playing it for a while, and I am also a master at it too. If I don't find that Cole is there in Alabama, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to kill your friends and you and make it look like there was something going on between you and your friends to the point where you had to kill them because they found out something about you that was so bad and you couldn't live with the guilt of it. So then you ended yourself. I couldn't believe what I had heard. I mean, honestly, I should have expected it from this guy. This guy's a complete lunatic. But the way he said it told me he was not joking. This guy was being dead serious. He wasn't bluffing. This guy was not a talker. He walked that walk. This guy was the epiphany of a psychopath. He chuckles to himself and leaves out, saying, "Well, I guess I'll see you later, Justin." Hopefully not. Because if you do see me again, well, you already know. He walks out the door without saying another word. I stand there, looking at that doorway, watching him walk down the street. How dare he? How dare he threaten them? I know I might not have been the best of guys, but I cannot let Charles and Tabitha suffer for my mistakes. No need to worry about Cole. He's safe. He's not in Alabama. He left the country a long time ago. I'm sure he's, halfway across Mexico by now. Like I always talked about going there. Though I have considered going there myself, but I have unfinished business to take care of here in New York City. I'm sure he'll be back. This guy said he will. And when he does, I'll be ready. I'll tear him limb from limb. It doesn't matter what he does or what threats he gives or what he says about my friends. He'll be dead before he can lay a hand on them. And if he does lay a hand on them, I'll finish him. I'll get him for payback. He won't get me. He might get them, but not me. Never me. I continue with my day as usual, planning my next move. When I get a phone call. "Hey, it's me, Tabitha." "Oh, hey Tabs, how's it going?" The memory of her betrayal is still fresh in my mind. I act like nothing happened the other night before. "Hey, I was thinking, I wanted to apologize to you, and, Charles, do you know where he is right now? I've been trying to get a hold of him, and I haven't heard from him in a while." "Oh, well, he would be at home by now, or most likely partying." "Oh, well, could you tell me where he is right now?" I stopped for at least a second, thinking, should I really tell her this? I know Charles is not gonna like it, but I kinda want her off my back for a little bit. I need to think. I need to think about how to get rid of this other guy. Okay, he's over here at this party down the street on 6-9. Yup, you know what I mean. Okay, well, I guess I'll call you back then, if I don't see him. Alright, see you later. See ya. And hangs up. I can't help but feel a little bit bad for Tabitha. She's trying to make it right, but it might not work. Charles is a little bit messed up from the whole incident anyways. He still believes that she cheated. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. It doesn't matter. I have to focus on the real problem at hand, not this bogustry. I get ready. I sit up and think, okay, how am I gonna get this guy? This guy probably knows that I'm already lying. And he's probably lying about going to Alabama, and he's probably still here trying to come up with a plan to kill me. So, I need to come up with a plan to get him first. And then that's when it hits me. The perfect idea. Wait. It was so easy. Why did I forget about my other plan before? I should have thought of it sooner. Well, at least I know what I'm gonna do now. 2 days passed, and of course, true to his word, he comes back. But he doesn't meet me face to face, not yet. He sends me a little email saying, "Oopsie, oopsie, coal isn't there. Now you're going to get it. Starting with you. He comes to me, telling me this. He has no idea what he's in for. I say, look, we can discuss this in a better manner. Look, how about we meet somewhere? We can talk about this. We can fix this. We ain't gotta do this. He says, okay, Justin, I'll hear you out. I'll be sure to bring a few associates with me, just in case if you try anything. A few associates. I can't lie, I expected this. I have plans for them as well. We meet at a place that I offered us to meet, at an abandoned warehouse. He stands over there with 2 guards beside him, and I stand there alone. Hey, look at you. Just look at your pathetic being, Justin. I just can't stand looking at you. I'm so... just looking at you disgusts me. Just get rid of him, boys. 2 of his henchmen come up to me and try to grab me, but I'm ready. A pocket knife flashes out of my wrist as I hit it in the sleeves of my shirt and stab 2 of them in their necks as they bleed out and die in front of the guy. His face turns to horror but quickly shifts to a malice grin of pure sickness. This guy didn't even care. Well, for only a second, but he didn't really care. He launches at me, smiling and laughing crazily. This guy's a little villain out of a horror film. I start swinging my knife at him, aiming for his jugular, going for the kill. But this guy is quick, he's smart, and maneuvers over me really, really fast. He grabs my arm where the knife is and grips my wrist so tight that I drop the knife out of my hand. Dang it! I shout to myself, and I headbutt the guy and get him off me real quick, but now without swiping the knife out the ground. He's got the weapon, I don't. What am I gonna do now? He could kill me. No, I'm resourceful. I take off my shoe and I throw it at this guy. He gets distracted for 1 second and I launch myself at him, going blow for blow. He throws the knife at me, attempting to stab me, but I dodge it, and I grab the knife in midair and do some sort of jump out of a freaking action movie with my finger and stab this guy in his throat. This guy straight up starts bleeding everywhere, screaming, saying, how dare you! You'll die. You can't get me. He runs out of there real quickly, but I chase after him. I can't let him get away, not knowing anything. He can't get away, and to go back to his employers or to his bosses or say anything crazy about this. If he says something about this, he might send an entire freaking mob on me. This guy could be really involved with these guys. I catch up with him, and I tackle him. He's down on the ground begging for his life, like the pathetic idiot he is. For a guy who was crazy as him, I'm surprised he's begging. He says, look, we ain't gotta do this. We can go our separate ways, and I will leave your friends alone. Okay. It's very hard for this guy to even talk to me because he has a literal hole in his neck. So his voice is kind of going in and out like his voice is cracking. I'm sorry, but I think it's a little too late for that. You tried to kill me, and now you're gonna die with your henchmen, so sorry, but it's gonna end like this, right here, right now. He stares at me in horror. He realizes that's the end for him, and accepts his fate as I plunge the knife deeper into his neck. It's over. Lights out for the guy. The deed is done, and I've successfully done it. Now all I gotta do is get rid of the bodies, and that's exactly what I do. I've come prepared for this, every possible scenario. I have done it. Victory is mine. I've gotten rid of this scumbag, and now I can focus on CaptainxFox for once. I haven't been able to focus on him since I've been here in New York, and now with this out the way, hopefully no more interruptions get in my way. Okay. Now let me bury this body and... Wait a minute. What's that sound? I turn around real fast, only to see nothing. I turn back around and get punched directly in my face. I go out cold. And that's it. Darkness. Complete darkness. Man, I wonder what the heck just happened.